My name is Kelly. I have been here in Chicago for 13 years. This is my son Kyle.
This is Kyle.
This
Yeah,
is Kyle.
That's good. Well, that's all right.
I hear a lot of good things about you. So you agreed to do this interview after we talked, and I found out about your story and about how you were inspired by the uprising of the Occupy movement to continue basically reclaiming your life.
Correct.
So first, just tell me when did you hear about Occupy? Where did that all come into the picture?
I first heard about Occupy watching the regular national media. I was actually watching, what was it? It might have been CNN or MSNBC. And I was so outdone at what was happening with the bridge and Wall Street. And I was like, before you all had even decided to take these places and let people know that we're here. Mm-hmm. There's something wrong and the system is broken. Because no one wants to say that it's broken. Mm-hmm. And I was so outdone and I was appalled at how you all were being treated. And it was like, these are Americans. They're not fighting. This is non-combative. Why are you in riot gear? Why are you putting your hands on them? And why are you fighting with them? And you look on news and you see over in foreign countries that they're at war. You're at war with Americans? There's something so wrong. All because of their beliefs and their thoughts? This is America. We're not supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. And I was engaged, just like everyone who was watching. Occupy, Occupy, Occupy. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Those are Americans. What happened to their constitutional and their civil rights? Mm-hmm. Well, they just kind of went out the door. And I'm sitting up watching you all. And I'm seeing that you all are just like, we're just not taking it anymore. We know the system is broken. So our situation is like, well, we know the system's broken too. Going through the federal legal process alone, it's like it's not set up for you to actually...
And we've talked, when you say going through the process, like you really get into the process. I know from the paperwork that you send me, I'm just like, wow. I mean, I think, that's what it's going to take, is a combination of assertiveness, but also being informed about the process that you're undertaking. We talked a little bit about reclaiming houses,
Yes, and that's very important.
The technical side of that.
There should be no one living in woods, in alleys, in your friend's basement, on a couch. That's not being housed. And I unfortunately missed it when Occupy went and was dealing with HUD. I don't intend to miss the next one, but I missed it. And they were just so right. You are bailing out these banks. You're bailing out anyone in a financial institution that's just making gazillions of dollars. But what about the people? They forgot about us. So we're in the process of trying to reclaim a home, empty, abandoned, foreclosed.
When you met Occupy, something happened.
I wrote to OccupyWallStreet, and I sent you all this letter because I just was completely blown away. And I said, okay, well, thank you so much for standing up, and thank you for inspiring me. And, well, I don't know what to do, and here's my situation. Do you know that Occupy responded from Wall Street? Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Not sympathy, but empathy. They understood. Absolutely. Okay, there's something wrong here. Let's look into this. Go see Occupy Chicago. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. I didn't know. I'm trying to find out what you're doing. How can I be a part of it? And, I was empowered watching you all. So I was like, okay, let me go see. I came and we went and took the LaSalle Street Bridge, or Occupy Chicago took the LaSalle Street Bridge. I knew then it was just, I've never felt that type of connection with that many people. Every color under the rainbow, every organization that you can imagine, they were all there, and we all knew that the system was broken. So I didn't have to clunk anyone over the head. Do you see something's wrong here? No, everyone there knew something was wrong. We were welcomed.
Yeah.
People didn't act funny, didn't recoil, didn't act like we were some sort of lepers. It was wonderful. My son is a student. He graduated from Lincoln Park High School.
You were there too, LaSalle Bridge? Nice.
And he was just like, I've been trying to get him back into UIC. There was a problem with Kyle. There was no money. They didn't know where his money went. There was we're all over the place we were illegally evicted from our apartment that we were in 2009. And it was just crazy. We were just all over the place, and he was graduating from high school. He had been accepted into UIC, into the engineering program.
Congratulations on that, by the way.
I'm so proud of him. And so, because in spite of all of it, this is the one normal thing, because I'm a mother. So this was the normalest, real thing that I do every day. And needless to say, I'm super proud of him. He went, couldn't get back into school. Oh, we got the runaround. Oh, we don't know what's happened. I'm like, well, what's happened to all the money that comes into the school? Sure enough, fate would have it. Right after the bridge, there was this huge write-up on the news about the chancellor at UIC who's been on some sort of shopping spree. $700,000 that we know of. Outrageous. Could have put, over 15, 20 students in school with room and board. It was atrocious. Now, they won't tell our story, but this was directly with it. Well, Occupy Chicago had gotten a group of people because they have occupiers at UIC, and they were just outraged. They just didn't have any idea. Tuition is constantly going up. They're always screaming about them wanting to, this country needs to have people and education needs to be important. Well, why don't you allow them to go to school? Sure enough, they were marching, and I said, Kyle, this is it. We need to just do it. You know, you just kind of take a deep breath. You're like, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to say, but look at everyone, and we're doing it. And so we went. And sure enough, there's a group of people, and to this day, I have never seen that group of people again, which is so wonderful because occupiers are everywhere. And they were like, oh, this is what's happened. I'm like, my son can't get back into school. And he's like, you know, we're talking to different people because everyone talks to you. They don't not talk to you. They communicate.
Totally.
And so it was like, oh, well, let's go over. And sure enough, there was an issue where we went right in, and, well, Kyle started classes January the 9th, 2012. He's back in.
That's amazing. So you actually, was it on that day?
Yes.
That you literally went in and just basically...
Yeah, because they're all freaked out, and the chancellor was hiding. All these different people are up here. They're all trying to figure out spin control. What do we do? To this day, we haven't seen the chancellor. He's back in school.
But something happened there.
Oh, yes. There was nothing that we were going to do behind closed doors.
Yeah.
It was just right here. Let's handle it. Let's resolve this. I need him to have what he needs so that he can move forward in life. How are you going to stifle both of us? That's just not fair.
Did you have the Occupy crowd with you in the office?
It was about 4 or 5 people.
Okay, so you
Not
did
too
have-
much because they didn't want to scare them because there was just hundreds outside.
Right.
It was just what looked like hundreds. It might not have been hundreds, but it was just a big line of people, and they were just looking down. They were just sick, and it was just.
So this is all just somewhat spontaneous. You felt inspired. You went. You took your chances, and you ended up in the office. And
Absolutely.
With support, and you got you back in school. And so you're in school now, right? Based on it. And how much? What you're in your last semester, or how close?
Well, this is actually my first. I'm starting.
Your first.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you basically got back on track with what
Exactly.
you wanted to learn.
With
Awesome.
and because of Occupy. That was it. We were in. I was like, that's it. That's it. Jackson and LaSalle. I was like, okay, look, that's it. Once you have to remember, if I'm begging the people in Champaign-Urbana, the board of directors, I'm calling all these places. No one can get this done. Okay. I walk up with a bunch of competent people who are just fearless, and they're like, oh, he's not in school? Absolutely not. And it wasn't about, let's talk about it, let's make a plan. It was right then and there. Let's go fix the problem. Let's not talk about the problem, let's go fix the problem. The problem was resolved. I promise you, we knew then, this is the organization, this is the group of individuals that we need to be around, because not only are they doing things, there's no drama, there's no, we can't figure out something, we don't know how to take direct action to resolve a problem. It's not about any of the extra things that we find, especially me, finding in dealing with the city, county, state, and federal government, parts of it. So it's just, it was in. So I started coming to the meetings, and it was just, I was welcomed. Do you know what it's like to be ostracized for years and be by yourself? And then all of a sudden you're with people who think just like you, who know that it's broken, we need to fix it, what's wrong. You tell them that something's wrong, like, oh my goodness, this is just not right. We've got to get this together. We've got to resolve it.
There's something
Period.
unmistakably appealing about the horizontal aspect, in that everybody respects each other, everybody knows that everybody's got equal potential, and everybody seems committed to working things out in a large way, consensus, as the primary goal, beyond having perfect decisions being made. You know, it seems like it's
Exactly.
so important that everybody's voice is heard
Everyone's
every
voice is
step of
heard.
the way. And it's
There's
difficult. There's a
voting.
lot of growing pains involved with that.
And it's a
But
group
there's a
of
lot of,
individuals, so you
reward.
deal with everything.
Yeah.
But it was great. I watch it all the time.
So, just real quickly, what your situation right now? I know that we've talked a couple times. You are still in a basement, is that right? And
I'm in my friend's house in her basement,
Mhm.
on her basement floor. It's
And-
concrete.
Where is that headed?
I have just, yesterday, I actually had my last conversation probably with the Lieutenant Governor's office. They're trying to resolve it. They have found that, yes, I have a housing grant that I received from a former United States Senator. And no, those funds have not been used towards my son and I. Our medical cards, food stamps, link cards, how you can get cash, and but mostly our food stamps and our medical cards, nothing. We haven't gotten that since 2010. No food stamps, 2009. No medical cards, no nothing. They were using the wrong Social Security number. And I've told them on several occasions when I first received the paperwork, this is not our Social Security number. But when people are trying to say that something is wrong with you and, oh, you're crazy, I'm going around in circles talking to people who are
Not
just...
really listening. Yeah.
They don't listen.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to work with the Lieutenant Governor. Where's the house? What's been going on? She's been in office since the beginning of last year, in 2011.
Was she
So
made
she's
aware of the
busy.
situation at what point? How long ago?
She was made aware of the situation in the summer of 2010 before she became
Okay.
the Lieutenant Governor.
Wow. Mhm.
Talked to her, and I was on a radio show, and I asked questions. Well, what happens when your rights are not being followed or they're being violated, and how do you access the laws that have been granted to you? How do you access them? Because it's like a big secret. You've given the two of us all these laws, but then you haven't told us how to enforce them, how to execute them. So we started talking and explained it to her. We were at Skokie at a extended stay, a hotel that our providers at the time placed us in for $1,900 a month. Had our belongings in storage, always late. Of course, we don't know what's going on with our things in storage, and they're probably gone. Yes, it's just a nightmare.
By the way, you're an amazingly bright spirit. I love how strong you are, despite, I mean, when you tell, your story, you're so positive and so upbeat, and the details and the content ever since, we first talked have been, at times heart-wrenching. I mean, you guys are really, you've been jumping place to place to place to place, and that can really wear on a person.
That's what they wanted to do. Their whole intent is to break us. Definitely break me, because then if I stop, then I can't fight for Kyle.
Do you get a lot of inspiration from your mom?
Yeah.
I mean, just like endless, and
I stay on him.
there's a reason for it.
It
too.
is, because he's going to do all that they are trying to put us in a box so we cannot do. We're not mice, and we're not supposed to run around in circles confused. This is America. If they cannot get past the amount of pigment in my skin, in Kyle's skin, don't look at us. Just close your eyes and just don't even look at us. But if you hear us, and it happens to you or someone that you know, your loved one, then it will become oh so real. Because if it's that easy to violate our rights, well, what do you think is going to happen? I turned on the news and saw Occupy Wall Street's rights being completely disregarded and violated.
You guys, awesome.
Thank you,
Great
thank
energy.
you.
Yeah.
And please let the occupiers know out in Wall Street.
Yeah.
They just got me crazy. I am so, no, I'm in.
Good.